Ancient Technologies Comments. So I'm gonna make a video soon about stone masonry in ancient Egypt, and it all stemmed from this comment that I left that I did get a reply from, and a back and forth. But I'm not gonna go into that. Just gonna go into the idea of something that I noticed because I've been looking for a lot, and I'm also looking again to see if there's any more. Right, got to do my due diligence, as they say, right? My research, and see if there's any depictions. Whether it be painting, papyrus, right, or stone carvings of stone masonry, as in images depicting ancient Egyptians making things out of stone, right? Making stone vases, for example, as an example, making the Great Pyramids, Great Sphinx, obelisk, and the list goes on, right? Because here's the thing that's interesting about ancient Egypt. People, I'll say 90% of people, especially people who talk about history and are debating about, technology versus doing things by hand in ancient times, are largely focused on stone masonry. That's the main argument. Things were made of stone, right? The pyramids made of stone, the obelisks, the temples, right? Statues, even vases are made of stone. There's a lot of stuff made of stone, and that's what's the most interesting thing to most people when it comes to ancient Egypt than most other stuff, right? Other people accept, they made stuff of wood. People accept that they made stuff of clay. They were pharaohs, and they believe in animal head gods, and the list goes on. There's a lot of things people just will believe, right, without needing proof. A lot of people are not debating if they're against, did ancient Egyptians believe in animal head gods, blah blah. A lot of people just accept it, right? But there's very few things that people are still debating about, right? Still arguing about, and the main argument is, right, the idea of, did the ancient Egyptians actually build the pyramids and the Great Sphinx and obelisk, and the list goes on? Did they really make things out of stone? Where is the proof? Because we found a lot of their tools, but a lot of the tools, what I've seen in the Cairo Museum, for example, and the British Museum, is that those tools are great for woodworking, but those are not the best tools for stoneworking. And then the interesting thing is the fact that people point out that well, you can use copper and sand and stuff like that together to cut granite, right? Cut stone. It's like, well, yeah, no one disagrees with that idea. Well, no one of credibility anyway. Most people agree. Yeah, there's methods to cutting stone, and we use those methods in modern day times. Yeah, we use diamond or sand. We use tube drills and stuff like that. So yeah, in modern day times, we definitely know how to cut stone in many different ways. We got tools for it, so it's not complicated, and it's not something that it's hard to believe that you can work on tools, cut stone and whatnot. The thing is where is the depictions? Where's the pictures, the paintings, the documentations? Where's the stone carvings, the hieroglyphs that show and describe, right, all the stuff, the stuff made of stone? Because you would think that they value it. Because here's the interesting: in modern day times, like at the beginning of this video, I was talking about how we care more about the stuff they made, or quote unquote made of stone, than anything else. The stuff they made out of gold, copper, wood. Like we're impressed, but we don't care about it as much, and we're definitely not debating about their wooden beds or their scepters or their clothing. And we're not debating that stuff. What we do debate about is the pyramids, right? Things made of stone, pyramids, temples. How were they built? Why were they built, and so forth. We're more interested about the stuff they made of stone than anything else they've done. So, with that being said, right, it's like, okay, well, why don't the Egyptians, right, have depictions of them making the pyramids, making the temples, making the Great Sphinx, making the obelisks? Why isn't there depictions of that, right? You would think, I just thought of this today, was why do these temples, they are finished, right? They're finished, they got carving and everything. Why is there no depictions of how the temple was carved, how the temple was made? There's no record, no depiction, right, of how the temple was made in the temple, unless there is, but more likely it was like, oh, it was gods who made the temple or something. It's like, okay, well, that's not stonemasonry. That's gods using their special abilities to make temples. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for like humans making the temples. That's what we want. We want evidence that Egyptians made the temples, the pyramids, the obelisks, the Sphinx. That's what we're looking for, the proof of that. And I'm one of those people looking for the proof. So that's why when I see this video, as you can see in the screenshot, that Cav, as I call him, Cav, showing like, hey, look, you can drill holes in stone. And it's like, well, yeah, but his evidence, right, the image he uses from ancient Egypt to illustrate that idea of drilling a hole in stone is literally an image of two people drilling a hole in wood, not stone, wood. Unless we're trying to say that wooden bed, which is what it is, and when I make my video, I'll show all that stuff. I show the beds made of wood and stuff like that. So I'll go more deep into that image, among other images. I found some stuff. I found some stone masonry stuff. So that's for the other video. But anyway, point is like he showed an image of woodworking, which is on the bottom, from it's a painting from a temple of two people woodworking, and use that as an example of stone drilling or stone masonry, which is, and what's on the top is a modern day representation of, drilling a hole in stone. It's like, yeah, the image on the top is definitely somebody drilling a hole in stone I think he did that in 2022 versus, 3000 BC or whatever ancient Egypt was from that painting, however old that painting is on the wall, right? They're not the same thing. One is drilling a hole in stone and that one's drilling a hole in wood. Not the same thing. That's why it's a problem. And all I wanted to point out is notice that you didn't use a depiction, a painting, a carving, a papyrus with like writing on it and a scribble showing the idea of drilling holes in granite or in stone or making something out of stone. You showed a woodworking image instead of a stone drilling image. So you didn't show evidence of ancient Egyptians, depicting, drilling a hole in stone. You showed them drilling a hole in wood. Again, there's a possibility that maybe that is made of stone, that they are drilling a hole in stone, but we got to be able to prove it, right? Not just have a picture where we're just going to assume that this is stone, this is a proof of drilling a hole in granite when it's not definitive proof of it. We need more. We need to truly prove that it is granite that's being drilled in that picture. The one on the top definitely is a hole being drilled into granite. That was done in modern day times. The other picture does not depict granite. Somebody, ancient Egyptians drilling holes in granite. So we kind of need better proof. And I'm going to try to get that proof. And if I fail to get the proof that they definitely, did it, then, well, that just proves that, well, they definitely did, right? So to speak, or at least it's difficult to prove them. So it was just, the fact is like the wording in my comment, will create a confusion. But what I was trying to say is that there's no depiction of drilling in stone. There is a depiction or a couple of depictions of woodworking, but there's very few depictions of stone working. And even the stuff that is stoneworking, which will be in my other video, that I show some examples of stone work, stone masonry, it doesn't depict drilling a hole. I still yet to find stone carvings, papyrus, or paintings of ancient Egyptians.